Japan might be through the ongoing leaks of radioactive waste into the Pacific Ocean, unintentionally in violation of a number of international treaties, and that given the scale of the threat, Canada should offer assistance. If Japan wants it or not, we don't know, but we should do more. And I wrote to the Minister of Health and the Minister of Fisheries to suggest that we needed better radiation monitoring and reporting of the results, and particularly focusing on Pacific Island seafood, Pacific Ocean seafood, so that we can see, can we have some confidence? Because there was a lot of high-level nuclear waste that made it into the ocean, and the ocean mixes. We don't know which way those food stuff will go, but there's absolutely no reason not to monitor. We should be monitoring, we should be making those results public. So I'll keep pushing on that. I absolutely agree with you. I mean, airborne radiation, I think, is less likely right now, a lot less likely. But at the time, we also called for the reporting on airborne radiation. The heavier, most radioactive particles tend to be, would have probably been out of, like cesium-137 would have been out of the atmosphere pretty quickly before it ever got to Canada. But strontium-90 and thorium and all kinds of lighter particles, iodine-131, that could easily have come across the ocean, and we weren't tracking it, and we weren't even bothering to check whether it was concentrating in milk at the time, which would be the logical place to see strontium-90 accumulate.
Well, it's leaking into the ocean now.
It's leaking in the ocean now, and they've got an ongoing, probably permanent requirement and the technology of freezing the, that's what they're trying to do, is with rods, freeze the edge of the shoreline against, so create a permeable barrier by frozen temperature to keep the groundwater from leaking out that's radioactive. The Japanese government is no longer trusting TEPCO, the private sector nuclear company, to keep its nuclear waste under control, but they're probably 2 years too late in making that call. They should have taken it over right away. Anyway, it's certainly not something that we can ignore. It's an ongoing threat, and we should be monitoring.